All right, welcome everybody to Misery's Company. Y'all gotta see this one. This is number one, without a doubt, the best video reaction that you're going to see. This is the best content that I have ever found. Thank you to the Sean Ryan Show and this interview. This is incredible. I'm not even going to waste your time. This is so good. Let's get right into it. Let's go.
Let me give you a quick introduction here. So, chairman of Colliers International, commercial real estate mogul, investor, entrepreneur, visionary, husband, father, Boy Scout, and the owner of the infamous Skinwalker Ranch. Now, Skinwalker Ranch is the most Googled location in the entire world, or at least the country. It's the number one most Googled landmark in the United States. That's according to Travel and Leisure and Google. That is crazy. More UAP, UFO sighting phenomenons happening there than, as far as I know, than anywhere else on the planet. Yeah, for whatever reason, we're seeing the highest level of, or the highest frequency of UFO sightings and paranormal activity centered in this area. For whatever reason, it has been a hotbed, and this has been going on for decades, if not millennia. And we're fortunate to be picking up the baton and carrying forward in a sophisticated and I think a more aggressive fashion. But these things have been going on for some time, and we're finally bringing it to the public's attention, and I think the most dynamic way and transparent way.
I agree.
You're doing a hell of a job.
Let's stop right there. That's the intro. You know the man, the myth, the legend, Skinwalker Ranch, baby. This is going to get good. Keep watching. Let's go. And I did look it up, and in 2022, it was the most Googled place. So he was telling the truth about that. More sightings per capita is LA County and Los Angeles. I believe they have between 3,200 sightings as of now. So they got it going on too. But concentrated. This place is legit. Let's go.
Upon arrival, everyone wanted to hike up the mesa. Everyone wanted to get up on top of the mesa and look out over this incredibly beautiful property. And I was like, okay, fine. Knock yourselves out. I was wearing Armani slacks and black dress shoes, and I didn't want
dress to impress.
I was trying to
know what I mean.
Trying to somehow get a line out at the time to check my voicemail, and so they proceeded to hike up to the top of the mesa, and within minutes, I hear Eric Bard, the physicist, start shouting down, Brandon, get up here. I look up and I yell. I said, really? You really want me to hike up? You want me to run up the face of the mesa? He says, yes, get up here right now. He's pointing to his iPhone. So I shrug, go booking it up the face of the mesa in my dress shoes and my slacks. And as I arrive out of breath at the top of the mesa, he's sitting there looking at his phone and motions for me to watch his iPhone. We sit there in silence for minutes. Nothing's happening. I see nothing unusual. I'm like, what are you talking about? And Eric says, well, you should have seen it. My phone was malfunctioning in the most strange ways. It was turning all sorts of magenta purple color. And I've never seen this. It was very, very unusual. And I just shrugged. I said, well, it's not doing it now. And about that time, the others that were up there on the mesa said that they were feeling a little bit woozy, feeling a little uneasy, and wanted to hike back down and proceed with the tour of the ranch. And so we all went down and proceeded to drive out to Homestead 2, which is the cluster of old structures that seems to be a center of gravity for strange phenomena on the property. And as we pull up to Homestead 2, and we're all kind of congregating out in front of those old structures, it was interesting. A few people said, well, do you feel the ground shifting? Uh, and even Eric Bard said, yeah, I feel, you guys feeling this sensation that I'm feeling, kind of vertigo? And I was kind of across the courtyard from them. And
he hasn't seen nothing
and said, no,
yet personally.
Anything. And then all of a sudden Eric says,
Skeptic.
My phone's doing it again. My phone's malfunctioning again. Well, I learned from earlier that I need to move fast if I'm going to see whatever is happening. And so I dart over to his side, and sure enough, his whole phone had turned purple, had turned this magenta purplish color, and was flashing and acting all erratically. And everyone was talking about how they were feeling uneasy. Well, thank goodness he had the presence of mind to screen capture.
Yeah, there's the picture.
Phone. I'll share that with you right now.
Thank you.
And you can see it. In fact, he was taking photos of me right before, standing in the entry to Homestead 2. We find ourselves out at Homestead 2.
Let me pause there. We're just getting started. He hasn't even seen a UFO yet. He bought it as a skeptic. He has no idea what he's up against. And this just continually gets better and more mind-blowing and crazier. Just let's keep going.
Smartphone malfunctioning. Everyone's feeling these physical effects. My brothers are feeling uneasy enough that they want to leave, and they leave. They're happier driving and sitting at the airport for hours until I tell them that we're ready to fly back. And I'm finding the whole thing.
They don't feel good.
Well, as we're all discussing kind of the history of Skinwalker Ranch and the homesteads, we proceed to kind of get our phones out to take some pictures. I felt like it was a good photo opportunity. And lo and behold, my phone's dead. It had previously been at 80% charge. My phone's completely dead. Eric Bard's phone that had recorded where he had screen captured the anomaly, the strange colors and flashing, was dead. The others' phones were dead.
No way.
So we didn't have
it gets good.
Our cameras.
Let's go.
So I thought, darn, well, we better go take them back to the ranch house and plug them in and let them charge up. But we don't want to disrupt our day because of it. It was very frustrating. And so we took the phones back, put them in chargers, and then
this place is huge.
To return back out to the old homesteads. This time we drove all the way back out to Homestead 3, which is beyond Homestead 2, and it's a single structure. It's pretty haunting looking. And we pull up around the backside of the structure. This is October.
Oh yeah,
October 14th of 2016. And we all pile out and we all walk around the other side. And again, we're looking at the landscape and everyone's visiting and having a good experience. I mean, my brothers have left and returned to the airport, awaiting a call, hours later. And we're just visiting. And after about 10 minutes, I asked, well, where's George, the big guy, the security, the 6'6" security professional that
6'6"
was there, wasn't present,
feet tall,
and for some reason we
huge man.
And everyone said, well, when we all piled out of the open air Polaris, UTV, the Ranger, no one really paid attention. And I said, well, let me go try to find him. So I proceed to walk around to the back of the Homestead 3 to find George. And right as I'm coming around the corner in this grass area where we'd parked it and the vehicle being off in the distance, it was as if something cupped my ears. It was all of my hearing was impacted. It was as if I walked into a soundproof room. Have you ever been into an anechoic chamber or a soundproof room? And that sensation, the only thing you can do to simulate it right now is by cupping your ears.
It's like a frequency change.
Yeah, all of the ambient noise disappears, And I thought it was
Okay.
the strangest thing. It was the strangest sensation. And then I see, off in the strangest sensation. And then I see, off in the distance, standing fully upright, this 6'6" giant of a man in the back of this UTV. And I thought, that's odd.
Yeah.
So I yell his name,
This is
George.
crazy.
I can hear kind of muffled. It's almost like yelling underwater. I thought that was strange. And I proceed to walk to get closer, and he's not responding. And as I near the vehicle and shout his name again, he's standing upright with his eyes closed. And right as I'm nearing the vehicle, all of the ambient noise, all of the sound comes back, is restored. And as I yell his name again, his eyes fluttered open. And he looked down at me. And I said, what's going on? Something happened.
He looked down at you.
He said, well, that was weird. And I asked him, I said, what was weird? What is weird? And he says, well, when you all jumped out, when you pulled up and you stopped the vehicle and you all jumped out, I stood up and found myself paralyzed. I couldn't speak, I couldn't move, and then everything went black. And he asked, how long have I been here? And I said, about 10 minutes.
What?
And he just shook his head.
Happens to me all the time.
Obviously disturbed. I asked him, I said, has this ever happened to you in your life? Have you ever had this experience? And he said, no, I've never experienced anything like this.
And so there's a couple questions, just rewinding.
All right, we pause it there. If you haven't yet, please like. Please subscribe. I need them subscribers. These videos are coming. I'm making them as fast and as best of quality as I'm capable of doing right now. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's keep going.
So I know you had mentioned that Bigelow did not really reveal much of what was going on at that ranch, but I would think that after that day, you had to be dying to get back in touch with him and ask questions. After what you just experienced, did you do that?
I reached out to his people.
Oh, for sure.
Dr. Kelleher and others.
Oh, for sure.
Advising Mr. Bigelow. And
tell me what you know.
If there's any way we could share
Bigelow
from the past or collaborate, simply to better understand the nature of the phenomena at the ranch. And Mr. Bigelow was not interested, and that's okay. I respected it. He wanted to hold all of that, keep it close to the vest, and
ain't that weird though? I think that's weird. I think that's sus.
I don't mean to have
You're being sus, Bigelow. Let's talk, bro.
So I'm going to answer your question well.
This is crazy. This is so weird.
The truth is, within weeks following that event, there has been great disagreement.
That's why we're here.
Relative to the origin and the engine.
What was that long pause about? Talking about Bigelow, how they won't share, what they found together. Bigelow don't want to tell him what he's found, but we're ready to share. We got all this stuff. I want to know what you know. Help me get to a conclusion here. But when asked about this, it's almost like he knew the reason and the truth behind it. If you notice that long pause, and I found that very interesting. Let's keep it going.
The agenda associated with the phenomenon, not just at Skinwalker Ranch, but globally. There's a lot of divide, a lot of different opinions. So there's some people who say that it's all benevolent, that we're being visited by beings from other world that are benevolent beings and star people.
I get it all the time.
There's a more insidious, a darker motive and agenda. They point to the cattle mutilation phenomena. I mean, you're talking over 10,000 reported and documented cases. You can bet on the fact that there are probably over 100,000 that have been unreported that have occurred. I mean,
now we're walking together.
Unsolved crime spree in the country. And there's still no explanation. No one has been caught.
Still to this day.
Talking about cattle mutilations.
No one has been caught in the act of, conducting a cattle mutilation. It's very mysterious. And of course,
he has a point.
History. There have been a lot of bizarre cattle mutilations that have occurred on this property that are well documented. Mr. Bigelow, to his credit, it brought in a veterinarian, brought in experts to consult and provide reports. Within the first several months of opening the ranch up for a docuseries effort, of course, we had a young calf, a 2-year-old calf, perfectly healthy, die just south of Homestead 1.
Listen to this.
The fence line. And investigated that incident. Of course, we had multiple smartphones that were malfunctioning, both an iPhone and a Samsung Galaxy device that were both malfunctioning simultaneous with the investigation and discovery of the cow. We had, elevated gamma and other readings that were documented. And then, of course, an object that was captured by the camera surveillance going over right above that.
That's odd.
Right about the time that it died, that it fell over. And I think one of the most intriguing parts of that part of the investigation is the fact that even when bringing out the Utah State veterinarian, again, this is the veterinarian for the state of Utah with the Department of Agriculture, who comes out over a year after,
very highly credentialed,
to inspect the site, to inspect the carcass, finding no predator activity.
1 year later,
it had remained completely untouched, mysteriously, on a piece of property where nothing survives. Any dead animal is quickly dispatched by any number of coyotes.
Are you saying the cow had not decomposed and it wasn't drugged off by predators or anything?
No predator or scavenger activity had touched it.
In a year.
Over a year.
Wow.
The Utah State veterinarian proceeded to
that
order
is
tests,
insane.
Samples. Those tests revealed that there was no poisoning. There was nothing unusual that they could point to that would account for the absolute lack of predator or scavenger activity. And to this day, it remains one of the most mysterious incidents captured on camera and well documented, involving third-party experts that remain baffled. We're dealing with a very dynamic set of bizarre circumstances that continue to be documented in one location on the planet, which happens to be there at Skinwalker Ranch. And it really is the greatest science project of our time.
Yep.
In fact, when the Bigelow team first descended on the property and set up their investigation and heard the accounts of, the curse, the Skinwalker curse, and the lore that surrounded this property, it ultimately was referred to as Skinwalker Ranch as opposed to the Utah Ranch.
Let's go.
For a period of time, it was just simply the Utah Ranch or the Bigelow Ranch in Utah.
Let's go.
And then took on the identity of Skinwalker Ranch as they just simply started referring to the property as such.
Let's go.
Of the Native American.
What is a skinwalker?
A skinwalker is a shape-shifting demonic entity. It's essentially a Native American witch or warlock that sells their soul in exchange for immortality, the ability to take on the skin or shape-shift, oftentimes in the form of a wolf, a dire wolf or a werewolf-like creature, but they can also take on the shape of other animals as well. And it's a topic that I found the Native American community likes to stay away from. They don't like to discuss it, to even say
they're not brainwashed like the rest of the world is. They've seen this shit. They've seen it. They know it exists.
It's a key part of their.
They don't lie to
participating in the first year of our docuseries, and another senior advisor. We proceeded to present a full keynote PowerPoint presentation, and it was very evident that those individuals who held high levels position of seniority were respectful.
Well, then stop lying to us and take us seriously.
Who exactly were you briefing? Was it the Senate Intelligence Committee or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was.
This is just between you and me.
It was a good opportunity for me to demonstrate how serious I took my stewardship of the property, and the fact that we are using scientific discipline and rigor in order to address these topics and the phenomena at the ranch. I tell people all the time, I use the word steward. I really believe that this is a stewardship, not just an ownership.
Remember that.
And having a collaborative partnership with people who can bring skills and resources to the table to better understand what is happening is a key, a hallmark of our investigation.
Has the Intelligence Committee at the Senate offered any funding or any assistance?
I haven't asked for any. I don't have any interest. I have no interest in asking for money, engaging the government. I've never held a security clearance.
Okay.
I don't have any interest in that type of formal engagement. I am interested in being transparent and collaborative with anyone, including the general public. I mean, the docuseries is my effort to disclose to the public the reality of our investigation.
This is incredible. Our government knows about this. They've been lying to us. They've been telling us that we're crazy. Yeah. Okay. I might be crazy. But are you crazy? Do you think this stuff is crazy? Come on. Let's go. Keep it moving. Oh, this is so good. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, let's get into it. Let's go. I should name myself Dragon. I have pictures I'm going to show you of this. It's crazy. The picture The real picture. This is crazy. Just from digging. Dragon.
Right
Happens
off
to
the
me
bat,
every time I dig for some
the very
reason.
beginning of the docuseries, there was the number one rule seemed to have been no digging,
Right.
no going below the ground. What prompted that?
That had been told. We were told that digging on the property resulted in negative outcomes. That people would be harmed. That anytime the earth was disturbed, bad things happened. And taking into account the health and safety of those involved, and the fact that this is a televised effort. This is an effort being documented by dozens of professionals, arguably the leading documentary professionals in the country. I felt it was wise to be cautious. I gave Dragon specific direction to limit any digging activity, anything that would disturb the earth that may stimulate negative response that would result in injury or harm. And it really
Imagine needing safety precautions for
we still have
digging.
incidents that have occurred in tandem with experimental activity, with disturbing the earth. I mean, we had, Tom Lewis, who, last year ended up in the hospital in the emergency room with a cardiac episode that occurred immediately simultaneous with digging activity into the base of the mesa.
No, don't move on. Don't move on.
I don't think so. There was
Yeah.
the 1.6 gigahertz that the frequency showed up. There was equipment malfunction that was captured on camera, and then unfortunately, Tom Lewis is recorded going down on his knees with a cardiac arrest. Has to be run to the hospital by Dragon. And he's still being monitored. And thankfully, he's almost back to 100%. But it was really concerning. We've had a number of incidents where people have ended up in the hospital with mysterious illnesses and injuries. And a lot of those occasions seem to be attended by digging activity, with aggressive activity on the ranch. Have I loosened that up since the first season, from those first months? Yes. I mean, when my team tells me, let us dig, when I have Thomas Winterton, who spent a week in the hospital fighting for his life as a result of injuries that he believes and the doctors believe are connected to his activity on the ranch, when Thomas Winterton is hell-bent on digging deeper, both figuratively and literally, to find out what
That's what it really is. That's the truth
behind this strange activity at the ranch. I have to defer to them. I have to give them the latitude to get to the bottom of the truth and take more aggressive measures to hopefully get some answers. And so we've relaxed it. We've added more safety precautions since. But the no digging rule and the mandate that I gave,
that's crazy. I wonder why that's there.
Has been relaxed, but it's been as a result of both pressure and also respectful requests from the team.
It ain't fake.
To be able to do their work.
There's so many aspects of this ranch that I want to cover. It's hard to organize it all into one thing. So I'm just going to stick with the digging. But
I told y'all this is good. This is good.
Some type of a metal substance within the mesa.
Right.
You've seen UAPs fly above the mesa, hover above the mesa, fly into the mesa, fly out of the mesa. Are you going to excavate that site?
We're working on that. The mesa is a very unstable environment. The rocks, very unstable. Those boulders at the base that you see came from the top.
Okay.
Every time that we dig, that we conduct any type of excavation or exploratory activity,
A base?
it's very dangerous. We see material come down. It's a dangerous environment. We also don't.
I want it dug up right now. Move it along, boys. Start digging.
Or artifact or whatever may be buried in the mesa that is unnatural, that may be connected to the strange
Bill
activity.
Snyder?
The metallic substance that was recovered through the biopsy, through the drilling exercises that was analyzed by the University of Utah and shown to be, not naturally occurring, and according to Dr. Taylor and others, to be matching the composition of the same material that would cover the space shuttle, that would shield a craft at entry, from extreme heat. That type of material that has been extracted from the mesa is real. It accompanies something else. I mean, I believe that it's.
That's what I want to know. What do you really think?
Of what may lie beneath, and we don't want to damage the very thing that may hold the key to getting the answers. So we're having to conduct a very careful biopsy and probing effort in the mesa.
A spacecraft?
The health and safety concerns of the instability of the environment coming down on us, literally in the middle of it, and also the fact that we don't want to damage
an underground base,
the very object or the material that may lie within. It's like, imagine if there's a Stargate, to
400 feet,
a science fiction example. If there's a million-year-old Stargate that has some type of
a meteorite
technology that is involved with the UAP activity and the other strangeness that seems to be triggered with high frequency in the area, and that is somehow it's buried in that mesa, or there's a base. We don't want to damage it. We don't want to blow up.
I want this channel to be so big.
The very device that
I'm going to take us to the mesa. And guess what? I'm bringing my shovel.
Yeah, I completely understand.
Leave a like, subscribe.
It seems indestructible. When I saw
Let's keep it going.
Go in there, and it just got a little bit of substance, and it stopped the drill. Yeah. I mean, how do you sleep at night? What do you think is? What do you think is in there?
I don't sleep at night. I hardly get any sleep. I'm hell bent on getting the answers. Like I've said, I want the answers more than anyone. I'm putting my money and my reputation where my mouth is, and I want to come in aggressively and get to the bottom of it. But I don't want to be so aggressive.
Communication
damaging the very thing that we're trying to unearth, or we end up with more people hurt unnecessarily.
What are the offline conversations about between you and your team on what's under there? What does Eric Bard think is
Eric reserves judgment. You'll notice Eric is not quick to make any claims. Eric is very reserved and methodical. Members of the team have theorized.
You can't confuse me with them big words.
There must be a spacecraft in the mesa, that there may be a dome like that. There may
intelligence. He emphasizes intelligence
of mysterious, unnatural origin that is buried there 400 feet into.
Can shut off nukes.
The mesa. I mean, there are those who believe that there may be something. It could be a meteorite that landed there who knows, millions of years ago, that contains, interesting composition. That I
Listen to this. This is good.
Relative to what lies in the mesa, and trying to determine the nature of what is happening.
But let's talk about it now, buddy.
Proving that there's something happening, that's already done. It's being able to identify the origin and the identity associated with the phenomena that drives me. And I think you can expect to see in the future, hopefully, some communication. I think whatever we're dealing with is highly intelligent. I will not be surprised if at some point we are able to somehow determine how to communicate, or at least see, I think, more intelligent interaction.
So you think this, what do you call this?
Well, those who came before me with the Bigelow team called it a precognitive nonsense. There's a term. They refer to the phenomena at Skinwalker Ranch as a
instant
precognitive sentient non-human intelligence.
So there's
an intelligence based on the data. There is an intelligence operating on that ranch that has command over space, time, over consciousness, can manipulate closed systems in a split second without leaving a trace, and I believe has
what did it say?
Communicate if we can understand or develop a common language at some point to be able to interact. Eric Bard, in particular, has
give us a sneak peek
communication with at least one of these entities involved with manipulating the systems that has command over the technology and the platforms, and has expounded on that a little bit.
You have got to be kidding me. I need this footage. I haven't found it. I haven't seen it. I'm going to bring it to you when I do.
We're going to be discussing it on the docuseries this next year. But he's definitely seen and documented evidence that we're dealing with an intelligence that does have the desire to communicate.
Can you go into the communication a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, in his case, when he asked out of frustration...
Come on, like, subscribe, let's go!
When he commanded when the systems were being
was
manipulated,
incredible.
And he was
if I find that anywhere, you're going to see it here
that were occurring
second, because it'll be on his show first, but it'll be here second, and I'm going to show you. I have got to see that moment.
Verbally.
That is incredible. If you're still here, subscribe, comment, and let's keep it moving. Keep it pushing. Let's go.
In that instant, the screen morphed, melted, and digitally composed letters. He had the presence of mind, just as he did in October 2016, to screen capture what was happening with his iPhone. Thank heavens he proceeded to record and screen capture in real time what was happening with the equipment, and what was revealed was what I believe to be compelling evidence that we're dealing with an intelligence that is at least willing to acknowledge and wants their presence known.
Were you able to translate it into anything?
Yeah, it'll be shown on television, but it's
stewardship. What is up with that word? Why does he keep saying it? It means something. It means something.
I living.
You're You're shitting me.
So Eric Bard, in response to a host of issues with the security cameras registering that there was something triggering the motion sensors, there were countless events occurring. Upon giving that command, saw the entire screen morph and form the letters I living, and then snap back. All documented, all caught on camera. Although I have to acknowledge, Sean, I don't think we're in control.
Obviously.
Yeah. With all humility, we are not in control. Whatever we are dealing with, whatever we are interacting with at Skinwalker Ranch appears to be several steps ahead of us and has such advanced capabilities that it's important that we address it with humility and reverence. I think a lot of this is being revealed because it wants to be revealed, and I know that may sound hokey, but I believe that certain things are probably being manifest and shown to us as a result of our stewardship and working to sincerely engage the phenomena.
I think we've covered just about everything. There's one more thing I want to cover. We had a discussion last night about faith, and I shared my journey with you, and you had mentioned that I believe I asked you how this has affected your faith, and you had mentioned that since you've owned the ranch, it has actually strengthened your faith.
Yeah, shockingly.
I'm not familiar with the Church of Latter-day Saints. I did a little bit of research, and it sounds like, how do I describe this? It sounds like the earth is not the center of the universe, and you don't believe that we are the only beings in the universe.
Correct. Sean, I was raised to believe that there are worlds without number, that we're not alone in the universe. Mormon theology speaks to the fact that we're not alone in the universe, that we're part of a divinely constructed, intelligently designed reality, that there's a higher power, that the nature of reality and really our place in the universe is much more complex than we can even comprehend at this stage of our evolution. What I have seen at Skinwalker Ranch, what we are documenting, has only strength.
I got one last question.
Bring it on.
Do you ever see yourself selling Skinwalker Ranch? Never. Be passed down to generations?
Wonder if he's already
or put
sold
in trust.
it.
I have no interest in selling the property. I have no interest in monetizing it. My only interest is in getting answers.
Me too.
And I hope to continue to demonstrate that I am a worthy steward. That I am worthy of that knowledge, that my team is worthy of insights that will hopefully be realized.
And that's it. Like I said, that's the Sean Ryan Show. If you want the full thing, it's a 4-hour beautiful, beautiful conversation. So go watch it there. final thoughts. You know what? This man says Stewart a lot. And if you ask me, I think he sold that property. I believe that. I think maybe he sold his soul for that property. I think he knows what's underneath that ground. I think it's all a big game. Well, a lot of work went into this, guys. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, if you made it to the end, thank you. Let's subscribe. I need them subscribers. I need them views. I need them comments. And I need you to share. This is Misery's Company. And if the truth is out there, we're going to find it. Now, I'm going to leave links down in the description. And I'm not asking anybody for anything, but we're bare bones here at Misery's Company. I'm recording with 2 cell phones, no mics, some lighting that I have, and just a lot of hard work and back sweat. So if there's anything that you can do, that anybody that can, please help out. It goes right back into the program because we're the new kid on the block now, okay? We're the new bully on the block now. And expect regular content. And until next time, I'm out of here.